You're listening to Fun with Horror with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
Hello, beautiful horror family. This is Fun with Horror, the weekly horror movie review podcast in which Scotty and I take turns giving each other movies to watch. And then guess what we do? We discuss them the following week. The only two rules we have are that whoever picks the next movie has to pick one that they have never seen, and the other rule is that we both have to watch it. The last pick was me, and I chose 1988's Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which was directed by Stephen Chiodo, and it starred Grant Cramer, Suzanne Snyder, John Allen Nelson, and John Vernon. And remember also to listen through to the end of the podcast where we will hear Scotty's pick for next week's movie. All that being said...
Also, let me add
please.
something.
Yes.
This week, we're trying something new.
Yes.
When this started, there was always a tiny little bit of listener participation that we were trying to achieve.
Right.
And at the beginning, it's simple. It's just we want people to watch the movies like, hey, this is the movie they're picking. I'm going to watch that this week, too. And then I'm going to listen to their next episode. And, that's fun and all. But I was always wondering, how else can we get people to participate in the podcast? And it finally hit me. So I asked on Facebook and Twitter for people to give like little one sentence or one tweet reviews of the movie we're doing, and we got a handful. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try that this week too.
Yeah.
And hopefully that can be something we can keep going.
I love it. I think it's a really cool idea. And
Also, Ziggy, would you please stop playing with your damn ball toy while I'm recording a podcast? Can you hear that? That is so loud.
I actually can't, so I think we're probably good.
Okay.
But
He's got this little circular thing with a little plastic ball that goes in circles. And I love to watch him play with it, but we're recording a podcast.
right, Ziggy, come on, get it together.
He just looked at me like, what?
I do what I want.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy. How are you, man?
I'm good. It's the first week of December.
It is. Man, this year shot by.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. And believe it or not, I mean, this is episode 18, so we've been doing this podcast for over 4 months, and it feels like we just started doing this like a month and a half ago.
Right. It's flown by, and it's been honestly such a blast. Every week it's even better and more fun, and it's awesome. It's so awesome.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. I know we've said it. We say it over and over again. It's our highlight of the week, just
right.
recording. But since it's December,
Yeah.
I got something in the mail, and it brought up something I just wanted to discuss with you.
Ooh, okay.
Something fun to discuss. I got the 4K Blu-ray of Krampus,
Nice.
directed by Michael Dougherty, who also directed Trick or Treat and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Nice.
And we've talked about Mr. Dougherty before.
Mm-hmm.
We love Mike Dougherty.
Yes, we do.
And it's interesting because we've talked about this too, where Trick or Treat is one of your top 10 horror movies of all time.
Correct.
Krampus, I didn't even think about really when I was doing my list and I think I realized why.
Why is that?
Trick or Treat and Krampus, and I'm going to keep saying it like that because that's how the old lady says it in the movie. I watch them one time a year.
Nice, yeah.
Trick or Treat I usually watch around Halloween, and obviously Krampus I watch around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I didn't really think of them for my top 10 of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because it made me seriously wonder. I think I think I actually like Krampus a little bit more than Trick or Treat.
Nice. Okay. Totally fair. I get that.
And now we brought up another question. If Mike Dougherty
Mm-hmm.
was to do another holiday themed horror film,
Yep.
what holiday could he do? And it's not as easy a question as I thought about, because one of the beautiful things about Trick or Treat and Krampus
Mm-hmm.
are that when those movies, besides being just awesome horror movies,
Right.
they also do a great job of capturing the spirit of the holiday.
True. Yep. You're right.
Trick or Treat, like you can almost smell the jack-o'-lanterns in the air. And Krampus, you can. It honestly puts me in the Christmas spirit, as demented as that is.
No,
I don't
get it.
need. I don't need something like A Christmas Story or Elf
Right.
with a wonderful ending to put me in that spirit. So Andrew,
Yeah.
what other holiday do you think Mike Dougherty could actually do a good horror movie? Based. That was terribly worded.
I liked
But
it. I
if
knew where you
Michael
were going.
Dougherty was to do another holiday horror movie,
There we
which
go.
holiday do you think he could do?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is another kind of mascot holiday, which would be Easter.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you could do something fun with that. But then I also think we have a few, and I've never really seen any of them, but a Thanksgiving movie could be fun.
Right. Yeah, I
Um,
think there's Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah, there's a few that I can honestly say I've never seen. I think there's at least 3 Thanksgivings, I think.
And I think we all know that the best Thanksgiving horror movie is the one that's never been made, and that's Eli Roth's trailer for Thanksgiving.
Right.
That was
Yes.
shown during the Grindhouse double feature.
That's awesome.
But now, okay, so how do you capture the spirit of Easter, though? That's
the
the
thing.
challenge.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, well, I guess, so here's the thing that I would think about. With Trick or Treat, we have the fall setting, right? Which is Halloween,
Yeah,
obviously. We have, with Christmas, we have the winter setting. So we'd need, like, the spring setting, I suppose,
Right.
with Easter, so we can get a little, if we have some spring background, or even, it could even be a daytime horror if it's done well. I don't know, man.
Easter is a daytime holiday.
Right.
Well, and there is, when I was a kid, of course, we had, my parents would say the Easter Bunny was going to come.
Right, right.
And the Easter Bunny did come at night. Like,
Right, that's true.
He came early morning, I guess, or something, and he hid eggs.
Right.
That's what the Easter Bunny did.
Yep.
But you bring up a fantastic point, that it's not just the spirit of the holiday itself, it's the spirit of that season.
Right.
So I guess you'd have Easter,
Right.
and then, even though, again, like, we have maybe a couple movies that have somewhat of a theme of this, 4th of July.
Right. Yeah, then we get the summer. Right.
Yeah, and that would be the summer one. And as far as 4th of July, I think we have with Stranger Things. Stranger Things
Right.
season 3 takes place around 4th of July.
You're right. Man.
And I don't know. I don't know what there's a Purge movie that has to deal with America and stuff, but I think that's more of an election.
I think
I'm
so.
not sure.
I've only seen the first one, so I'm not 100% on that. But that sounds right, because I remember there being a bunch of stuff about America, I guess, in one of the
Yeah.
trailers, so
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that was so. Mike Dougherty, if you're out there and you're listening, we are waiting patiently for an Easter movie and a 4th of July movie. And good luck.
Yep. We'll be there to watch them.
And as extra credit, I guess we can do Thanksgiving and What holiday am I leaving out? Anything?
Well, I mean, there's St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day. The
But-
girlfriend just mentioned that as well.
Oh, did she?
And that's a good one.
That could be also fun.
What? Okay. As soon as I put her on the spotlight, she's like, "No, I'm not talking."
Aw. We had an episode with her.
Yeah. Well, a couple. She also yelled at the beginning of 2 episodes ago, so But yes, so yeah. Actually, I kind of like the idea of a St. Patrick's Day, although I guess we do have the whole Leprechaun
Right.
series.
That's what I was thinking,
So maybe
too.
not. So yeah, Easter and 4th of July. Let's do it.
All right. Let's write them.
It was a night like any other night. Then something happened. Did you see that? Something different. It's no shooting star. Why here? Why now? Why clowns?
Okay, so Andrew,
Yes.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is your birthday movie. Although, I mean, it's kind of weird that you said this was your birthday movie.
Right.
But actually, it's almost more like The Deep House was your birthday movie because that was the episode that came out on your birthday. But anyway, we're in this like recording time loop.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, you picked Killer Clowns from Outer Space as our last movie.
Yeah, man.
It's a 1988 film. It's directed by Stephen Chiodo, and it's got some cool actors in it. It's
Yeah.
got John Vernon as Officer Mooney, Suzanne Snyder as Debbie,
Yep.
Grant Cramer as Mike Tobacco,
That name.
John Allen Nelson as Dave the policeman.
Yep.
And of course, we can't leave out Michael Siegel and Peter Licassi as the Terenzi brothers.
Right. Right.
So, what did you think of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Andrew?
Well, let me start out with this. I consider this my birthday movie because it was the week of my birthday that I got to watch this.
Yes.
So that was fun. And I also received, as people saw on our social media, from you, I received a Shorty the Clown Funko that's now sitting in front of me right now as well for my birthday. So
Yes.
so awesome. He looks
Shorty
great.
with the boxing gloves on.
Yeah, he's got his boxing gloves. That was my Shorty voice. Anywho,
Oh, good job. Good job. I thought you were watching the movie, actually.
Thanks, man. It was either Gremlins or that. But what I will say about this is I really enjoyed Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It was exactly what I thought it would be. With a title like that, you know what you're getting into, and it didn't disappoint. It was exactly what I was expecting.
Okay.
What did you think of the movie?
That's a loaded question. But I'm still more curious about you.
Okay.
Because when I watched this movie,
Uh-huh.
besides my own opinion of it, I was wondering what the heck you were going to think about it.
I thought you might think that.
Yeah. Because it's not too far removed from something like, oh, I don't know, Psycho Gorman.
I knew that was coming, dude. I knew it. I knew it.
So what was the difference between Psycho Gorman and Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
I think the difference for me was that I guess there's a couple things. One, I was expecting this one to be ridiculous. Whereas
weren't
Psycho Gorman, like I said, I
see?
didn't know anything about it going in.
And that's what I said during our Psycho Gorman
Right.
episode. I really wished you had watched the trailer.
And it might have done. I may have had a different opinion. Like I said, I am going to watch it again at some point because I do want to. I want to see what my opinion is the second time because I think it might be different. That being said, I think the other thing was that, like I mentioned in that episode, I love cheesy 80s movies. I love them.
Yeah,
I think
you
they're
do.
ridiculous and silly, and I like that they're they think that they're more serious than really what they are. And I feel like this was just another one of those kind of cheesy, ridiculous 80s movies that I enjoy. That I don't know. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, so like I said, I think the biggest thing is I didn't know what I was going into with Psycho Gorman. This one I knew exactly what I was going into when I started it.
All right, so for our next movie, I'm picking Psycho Gorman again.
I will say this.
So,
my goal is
yeah.
to have Psycho Gorman watched again by our final year episode. That's my goal.
Okay.
So it'll be watched
Interesting.
by then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think you'll know why. Or you might get
Foreshadowing,
it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
Awesome.
So yeah, it'll happen.
So, okay, so I watched Killer Klowns from Outer Space twice.
Me too.
You did?
I did. I did this time.
Finally.
I know. Sorry. You're better at this.
Wait, real quick, did you watch this with your wife?
I watched the first 10 minutes with my wife, and we watched it kind of late, so she was out. And then
Oh, but you were awake?
I watched it, yeah. And then the next day I
Wow, look
watched
at
it
you.
again, so.
Look at you.
I know.
Staying awake for a movie.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so the first time I watched the movie, and this is tough because, first of all, I want to recognize that there is a huge cult following for this movie.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that love it for exactly what it is.
Yep.
And I knew what it was. I knew what I was getting into going in.
Right.
That said, the first time I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
I did get a little bored.
Oh, that's fair.
And the second time I watched it, I appreciated it more for what it is. And I know, I'm not going to fault it for what it is.
Right. Right.
But I was able to pinpoint what affected me the first time, because the second time I made it a point. If I started to get bored and my attention started to wander, I pressed pause or something, I let my attention wander, and then I came back to it.
Good. Okay.
Let's just put it this way. Like, the first time I saw it, I completely missed the entire scene where they threw pies on the security guard
What?
and they melted him.
Yeah. And then
I
Shorty
saw them
puts a
throw the
cherry.
pies, and I looked away at my phone or something because I was like, oh, let me text somebody. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah. So the second time I watched it, I paid more attention. Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird thing. And I think, for me, I love the clowns.
Right. Yep.
The clowns are amazing.
Yep.
The makeup is amazing.
Yeah.
The ridiculousness of the clowns is amazing.
Yep.
Where I got kind of lost was some of the people, the humans.
I think you and I are going to have the exact same notes on this movie, man.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a low budget movie, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the acting is all on the same level with everybody.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's so weird. I feel kind of like Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the way you did about Psycho Gourmet. So it's like an opposite kind of ththing. I actually like
Funny.
the human characters in Psycho Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for them in this one, and I found myself just not really caring what happened to anybody. I just wanted to see more clowns.
Totally fair.
So I think there's a little section there where before they go to the carnival, where I just started to lose interest.
I get that.
And it
Yep.
started to become a little too ridiculous for me. And and I'll tell you the other thing, and this is not knowing what to expect out of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I didn't know was how the clowns kill the humans.
Right.
I think I had seen Shorty knocking the guy's block off,
Right.
Which is a famous scene. You
Right.
mentioned it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it, a lot of it was just the clowns shooting people with the cotton candy guns, which is hilarious. It's funny.
Right.
But man, I wanted some gore.
Yeah.
I guess I
Yep.
didn't know this movie was PG-13.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's my own expectations, and I realize that, and that's why I always watch a movie a second time to tamper those expectations.
Right.
So yeah, I was the first time I watched, I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more blood, that there weren't more gruesome kills. But the second time, yeah, I was able to appreciate it more for what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have to be totally honest about the first time I watched it.
Well, and see, I have that same thought or the same opinion on it where and I think this is probably everybody that's seen this, but my favorite parts are the clowns. Always.
Mhm.
I mean, had we cut out everything with humans, it would have still been a really fun movie. I would have been okay with that. Yeah, there's not a lot of character development, what we can say, with a lot of people, I would say. Not a lot of story.
In fact, some of the character development is confusing as hell.
Yeah. Are you talking about the police officer and...
Yeah, the triangle.
Yes, exactly. I was
So, and just to recap, Debbie is now with Mike Tobacco, funniest last name. I love
yep,
it.
genius.
Debbie is with Mike,
Right.
but then when they come across the killer clowns, then they meet up with Dave, policeman, who happens to be Debbie's ex-boyfriend. And, it's like there's no triangle setup throughout the entire movie.
Right.
But then there's just like this, Dave is being a butthole to Mike. Wait, yeah, now I'm getting names mixed up. Dave, Mike, Debbie.
Right.
Dave is being a butthole to Mike.
Right.
And that's because he's jealous that Debbie moved on and blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
all of a sudden, by the end of the movie, you can't tell who Debbie is with. It's like this
Right.
threesome going on.
Well, and he kisses like Debbie's head at the end, and they're like holding each other, and Mike's just sitting there like with a smile on his face, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, it goes from Dave looking like the third wheel to Mike looking like the third wheel.
Right. And even
So,
what's funny though too is like earlier Mike is like upset. Oh, Dave is your ex. Like I can't believe we're gonna go see him. And then by the end he's fine with him like kissing her. It was so weird. Like what a 180.
Which is, I mean, it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's kind of the charm of the movie that, like, all of a sudden, like Mike is like cheering on Dave when he survives the final explosion.
Right. Right.
But yeah, there's some human jokes that I felt fell a little bit short.
Yeah.
I know the Terenzi brothers are supposed to be funny.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Very cringeworthy, those two.
Yeah, a little bit cringy.
Mm-hmm.
They used to before Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They were a comedy duo already.
Right. Yep.
So you can tell that they have like this dynamic between them.
Right.
But yeah.
Even their comedy, I was watching the clip from Dead Meat. He did the video about them, and I was like, that's interesting, their comedy.
Yeah, and their comedy looked really cool. Like,
Yeah.
actually, like it looked offbeat and weird, and
Yeah.
I kind of dug that. So I almost wondered if they were kind of shackled by a script when they did this movie.
Oh, maybe. I could see that. That makes sense.
So I don't know. It was cute, but
Right.
it was the clowns, man.
Yep. Totally. Yeah. The clowns 100% were the best part. Like I said, what's a bummer too, and kind of jumping back to the human aspect of it, the whole first -1 clown with the farmer, but like the whole first 20 minutes, we don't even get clowns. And it was a little, like you said, I mean, it was just kind of slow at the beginning, even a little bit, for me.
Yeah.
And then once we get the clowns, I was like, okay, here we go. This is better. This is fun. So yeah, like I said, I wish there was more clowns in that movie. Almost from start to finish. If we could have had more clowns, I would have been on cloud 9. That would have been awesome. But what we got, I'm grateful for those scenes because they were so ridiculous and very, very
Yeah,
silly.
I think for me, I was able to I think I was able to handle the beginning of the movie a little
Mhm.
bit more, knowing that the clowns were eventually coming.
Fair.
Um, yeah, but then I mean, let's get into the great part of the movie.
Yeah.
The clowns were amazing.
Yes, they were absolutely.
The costumes, and they were more than just masks. Like that was the entire budget of that movie was spent on the clowns.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
And that's yeah. When I see the clowns, I completely understand why this movie is a cult favorite because they're just so unique and cool
Right.
and ridiculous.
Yep. And I love, all the movements that they had. I mean, obviously you can tell that there's, it's almost the same kind of animatronics that Chucky the doll uses for his facial expressions. You can see that behind the scenes or, with the masks. And I love that. I thought that was so cool. Because, there's a team working on each face. And I just thought that was really great.
And and then of course you still have a person in the outfits.
Right.
And they're, just the ridiculousness of everything they do, like the shooting popcorn onto people, and the popcorn like comes alive and eventually becomes like these little popcorn clown creatures. That was awesome.
That was pretty sweet.
The balloon dogs.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I was like, what the heck is this clown doing? And he's like making a balloon animal. But then the dog actually sniffs out people.
Yep. It becomes animate.
What else we got? We got Shorty knocking the block off of that guy.
Which, what are you gonna do? Knock my block off? Which, to be fair, that guy deserved it. That guy was a real jerk.
Well, I think everybody deserved it. I would have been fine if everybody died.
Fair enough.
If the clowns just won in the end,
Dude, that would have been amazing. Can you imagine if that's how it ended? Oh my gosh.
Let's see, the puppet show. Oh my gosh,
Dude. Okay, I have that note.
Yeah, tell me about that scene, buddy.
The guy that just shows up. I'm like gonna really start giggling here. Sorry. It's just so ridiculous. Just that guy shows up and his facial expressions during that whole thing are the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. And I was dying. I'm serious right now. I'm like giggling really hard because that was so random.
Yeah, he's just this random blonde dude, and he's just like standing in a gazebo out of nowhere at night, and then there's this puppet show going on, and then the clown comes out and shoots him with his cotton candy gun.
But what I love is I have a feeling when they filmed him, they just went, you don't have lines, but, we're not sure exactly yet what the clown's going to do, so let's get some facial expressions from you. Let's see shy. Let's see bashful. You know what I mean? There's like these weird expressions that make no sense as to what's happening in the scene. Like right when he gets there, he just like turns his head like he's looking at someone he has a crush on. And it's one of my favorite scenes of all time now. Like it's so weird.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
The shadow puppet thing.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like I loved seeing how delighted those old people were in a clown.
Yeah.
Like that old lady was so happy that there was a clown there.
Well, I love the first guy too because he does the bunny, which is like a really cool looking bunny, and the guy's like, "Boo."
Oh yeah, the young people hate the clowns.
Yeah, they boo.
But the old people love them.
Yep.
Yeah, and then of course the security guard, which
Yep.
on my second viewing I saw very clearly.
Yeah.
See, I wish that would have been a little more bloody.
Right. Yep. That one could have been for sure. Because I mean, he's like melted. He's melted. There's like nothing. There's I think a skeleton bone or something left. I don't remember. The only thing that I would say was, well, we'll talk blood later. Never mind, because that'll be one of our.
No, we can
questions.
talk blood now. Let's talk
Okay.
about blood.
Well, the only thing I guess that was quote unquote bloody, and I don't even know if it was bloody, was when they tear off the cotton candy from people. Their faces are all red, and
Kind
I'm
of
like,
melted.
yeah, and so that would be again quote unquote blood, but I don't know if that's just
Is
pink
it
because of
blood?
the
Yeah,
cotton candy.
it might just be melted cotton candy.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, yeah. So then there are a couple of really cool, gruesome scenes that I loved.
Lay it on me.
Well, Officer Mooney,
Yes. Oh man.
who I hated.
Yep.
Like, I like John Vernon. I've seen him in movies, but man, his character was so over the top annoying.
Oh, totally. Yep.
But and he had a kind of a lame death. The clown blows out the little
Right.
toy and it grabs him and knocks him against the bars and kind of kills him. But then, oh man, the clown using Mooney as a ventriloquist dummy was
Yes.
like, when you realize that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of left to your imagination.
Right. Right.
But then the clown pulls his hand out and it's bloody, and you're like, oh, I like that.
Yeah. That was awesome.
And then I guess the other gruesome thing is when we find out what the clowns are actually doing on Earth, which is just kind of harvesting people to drink their blood.
Right.
I guess.
Yep.
Maybe there's more.
Yeah, we don't really get a whole lot of background from them.
No.
Like, none, really. Although, there's one line that I have a note on this where I really liked.
And I think we're on the same wavelength yet again.
Really?
Go ahead.
It reminds
go
me
ahead.
a lot of, there's a line very similar in Cabin in the Woods. Without spoiling anything, it's similar. But I like that he says, they go, why are these, aliens, why are they dressed like clowns? Why do they look like clowns? And I think it's Mike Tobacco.
Yeah.
It says, well, how do we know that clowns aren't based on them? How do we know these guys haven't been, around forever and clowns are based on them?
Yeah.
I just thought that was I was like, oh, that's cool. It's
a cool idea.
Yeah.
I was actually about to mention the same thing. So
Yeah.
good job. Yeah, I really like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Yeah. It was just
Because there's a lot in the movie that's not explained at all.
No, a lot.
And the one deep explanation is given by Mike Tobacco, who might possibly be one of the dumbest characters in the movie.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
Another door. Another door. Another door. I love that scene.
So good.
Another door.
Another door.
Oh man, I just wanted him to go on forever.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Another door. The other thing that's weird about this movie,
Uh-huh.
and as it's a cult favorite, so
Right.
these clowns all have names.
Yeah. Yes.
Like I heard somebody talking about Shorty, and yet these names are never mentioned at all in the movie. So
You're right. Wow.
but yeah, if you go to their wiki and whatnot, all of them, there's Rudy. Like, there's a clown named Rudy.
Rudy.
I think the very first clown that kills the farmer. I think
Yeah.
his name is Rudy.
Yeah.
There's Spike. There's Shorty. There's Bibbo. There's Fatso. There's Chubby. There's Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all have names. And even the final clown is called Clownzilla. Which, here's another point I'm going to bring up.
Please.
And this is not a good point.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I really like how Officer Dave,
Uh-huh.
he's really good at shooting the little noses off of the clowns. But as soon as a huge Clownzilla appears with a huge target nose,
Yeah.
Dave can't hit it worth a spit.
Nope.
He just misses that nose over and over again. And the only way he can get that nose is with a safety pin.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, you were really good at hitting those little tiny noses. But, oh, boy, Dave.
Yeah. So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
What else you got?
Oh, man. Well, I'm trying to think of... Oh, there's a couple scenes... Okay, well, two things. Let me bring up... I love the scene where the clowns are going to town, and you just get that guitar riff.
Oh, the music.
The
yes.
music, yeah.
We have to talk about the music because
Yes,
John
that was
Massari,
my other thing. So yeah, please.
John
talk music.
Massari composed the score to the
Mhm.
movie, and that's another one. It took me a couple of watches of the movie. The first time I watched the movie, I liked some of it, but then some of it just sounded like kind of generic '80s.
Sure.
But then it's kind of it gets in your head when you listen to it more.
Yep.
And I was really digging it, and like huge respect for John Massari. He has single-handedly kept Killer Clowns from Outer Space in the public's like mind's eye, whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He's the one. We were talking about James Janice and Dead Meat, who we're big fans of.
Yes, they're
and
great.
James had the video where he went to the live showing of the movie where they had a orchestra playing the music, and John Massari put all of that together, which is amazing.
So cool.
So, yeah, upon second viewing, I really liked the music, and I know Waxwork, I think, is still at some point, Waxwork Records is going to release a vinyl soundtrack to Killer Clowns.
Nice.
And I'll probably get that because I was really digging it.
Nice.
And what I digged even more was that song, man.
Yes, the theme song.
Yeah, by
So
the
good.
Dickies.
Yep.
That is a great song.
It's so awesome.
The first time I heard it, I was like, this is interesting. It kind of sounds like Sparks in a way. But then I kept listening to it, and they played it at the beginning of the movie, then they played it at the end, and it's very, very addictive, that song.
Totally. And the lyrics are just ridiculous and awesome. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's such a good. It's a great song, but it was perfect for that movie. Like it was
Perfect.
perfect.
Yeah, okay, the other thing I got to mention,
Please.
the clown's laughter.
Whoa, yeah.
Loved it.
Yes.
And I think, wait. Oh, man, and now I can't remember which one, because I liked them all. They
Mhm.
all have this really crazy laugh, but I think it's your favorite scene in the gazebo. I think after that clown
that's
shoots
exactly
the
right.
smiling guy,
Yep.
I think that clown's laugh is the best.
Yep. And that was the first time we really hear the laugh. Because a
Yeah.
couple of them do it. I think Short does. Yeah.
but with like this, yeah,
like distorted.
this
and-
modulator put on it.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
So,
One
yeah,
more
go ahead,
thing I want to
please.
say. Like I mentioned, and this is just a weird side note, but the people I didn't really like, you and I, we didn't really care about them for the most part. There were two that I actually kind of liked, and they had two scenes.
Okay.
And it was the two guys that were out drinking wine. That, like, the first time we see him, Officer Mooney brings him in and is like, "You scumbags, it's because of you that this world, blah, blah." And it's these
The
two
punks.
Yeah, the quote-unquote punks, but they're not, they're really nice guys that are just like, "Hey, we were just outside, drinking some wine. It's a beautiful night." And they're
Yeah.
just, like, so nice. And I just went, "Aw." And then they put him in jail, and then they die. It was like, come on, the two that I like of all the people get the shortest amount of screen time and then die. I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
just really like those guys. I felt bad that they got arrested.
I like those guys too.
Yeah, they just were
agree.
nice. They were nice guys.
and Officer Dave was on their side too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mooney was just a jerk to everybody.
Well, I mean, wasn't he a dean in, like, Animal House or one of those two? He always plays that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
Also, real quick,
Yeah.
we're talking about what other people were in. Suzanne Snyder, who played Debbie,
Mm-hmm.
Weird Science.
Yes. Yep.
She was one of the two main girls.
And Return of the Living Dead 2.
Oh, part 2
Part
it
2,
is.
which was not my favorite of the two.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Mike Tobacco was played by Grant Cramer, who was also in a movie called New Year's Evil, which I've never seen.
Ooh, I don't know that one either.
But let's go back to Debbie real quick,
Please.
because I have a question for you, Andrew.
Okay.
Why did the clowns put her in a ball?
I had that same note. I was like, everybody else got the cotton candy. Why her?
Yeah.
I have no
That's
idea.
another thing. Oh, the clown parade.
Yeah,
The clown parade. That was kind of cool.
I did like the clown parade.
But yeah, that was an unanswered question, and I think it's just one of those silly things that you just leave to the movie.
Yeah. The only thing I thought is maybe this is just me spitballing, was maybe they wanted to get to Mike and Dave because they were bugging them. I don't know. And they thought, well, if we kidnap her, they'll come to us. I don't know, man. I have no idea.
I feel like the clowns weren't really that smart.
Right. I'm throwing something out there.
So, well, so now it's our new little segment here.
Yes.
And I put out on Twitter, please leave a 1-tweet review of the movie.
Right.
Let us know what you thought. And I said the same thing in our Facebook group, and we got a few. So I'd like our friend Edward on Facebook, first of all.
Woohoo! Hey,
And
Edward.
First names only, but Edward, good friend of
Yeah.
the show. He said, for me, it's the perfect Friday family night gateway horror movie.
That's a great line.
Which brings up the question I was going to ask you.
Uh-huh.
Do you think your daughter could watch this movie?
I do. I was thinking about that. I was watching it the second time because I know you had
Okay.
mentioned it and said I don't think about it. I do think she could watch this, and in fact, I've talked to her about it, and she's totally on board. So, yeah, I think we will be watching this.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this one will be. It's just.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious to know what she thinks about it.
I think with her, and like I said, we've talked a little bit about some of these, but with older movies, for her it seems like the new stuff would scare her more than kind of the older, more practical effects, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be part of it, but she's totally on board. And I
Well,
think it
let's
would be really
revisit
fun.
that. Show
Yeah.
it to her and let me know.
Okay. Yes, definitely.
And then on Twitter, again, our Twitter is @FunWHorror.
Mm-hmm.
We asked people, and at Gory Bits, who actually we've mentioned before, he left. He said something nice.
Yeah.
I think one of our first few episodes even.
Yep.
He says it's silly, fun popcorn entertainment.
Totally.
Which is true.
Yep.
That's very true.
That's great.
But then we have at Mikey Slashik, and that's at MikeySlashic.
Great name.
Now, he said he never got into it. Total indifference. I'm more of a John Wayne Gacy type clown fan or Hell House LLC. He also mentioned Captain Spaulding from Rob Zombie's movies.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's another thing I started to find out. Like there is a huge following for this movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me feel better for kind of being bored the first time I watched it.
Totally. Yeah. Yep.
That I saw other people that just didn't kind of didn't care for it as much.
Totally.
And now here's Baron Johnny Criswell on Twitter. His Twitter handle is at BALLFAART. So at Ballfart. And he said, when you're sad and bored, send in the Klowns with a K.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I mean that sounds like a nice review
Yep.
of it.
Yep. And I could see that with this one too. You know, this would totally be a movie where if I was home, sitting at home sick with a cold, this one would be one I could put on and just enjoy and be entertained and not
Absolutely
worry about it. So I love that. That's great.
And I wish that that I had seen this when I was younger,
Yeah.
because I think there's a nostalgia factor that I was missing.
Fair. Totally.
Because, for instance, I love Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is another just absolutely ridiculous, stupid horror movie. But I saw it when I was younger, and now when I watch it, I kind of remember how much fun it was to watch these tomatoes going around killing people.
That's funny.
So, I'm guessing by your silence you've never seen it.
You are absolutely right, friend.
Oh.
I saw it on your
One for
list,
your
and I
list.
was like, huh.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Or not on your list, but on all the movies you had. I was like,
Yeah.
that might be one.
So that's our user reviews.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or listener reviews. So thank you, everybody. And for those people on Twitter, go follow those people.
Yep. Good.
So yeah, we'll try and do this every week, and hopefully we'll get engagement with
Totally.
people, so we can see what other people think besides just you and me.
Right. Dude, that's fun. I love that. That was a great segment. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, and that brings us to our 3 questions.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions 3.
Yay.
Since this is your movie, I'm going to ask you first, my friend.
Okay.
All right. So, question number 1.
Yes.
What was your favorite kill, Andrew?
So I'm going to cheat on this one.
Ooh, cheat.
I'm going to cheat. A lot of the kills, like we've talked about, were cotton candy, which is cool and fun and whatever. But that was the majority of the kills. Mooney's, of all the kills, was pretty boring. He gets, it was fine. But I'm going to say his just because of the puppet scene right after.
Okay.
So like I said, I'm cheating because I thought that puppet scene was awesome.
And it's okay to cheat. This is our podcast. We can do whatever we want.
Oh, yeah. No rules. Well, there's 2 rules. But, so, yeah, like I said, I mean, a lot of the kills are very similar. But that one was just seeing that dummy version of Mooney, I was like, I just can't not pick that because it's so
and
cool.
it's one of the few truly gruesome scenes in the movie.
Yep. So that's my favorite kill, which is a cheat. But yeah.
Nice. I like
What about you, man?
Well, I'm gonna be predictable
Okay.
and say Shorty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shorty knocking the guy's head off.
Yeah.
I really like that. If I'll be honest, if the amusement park security guard had been a little more bloody,
Right.
I would have picked that one.
Totally.
Because I love the idea of these pies melting somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just wasn't bloody enough. So
Fair.
And I love Shorty. I love that moment because the guy's talking down and he breaks Shorty's bike, and for a second Shorty looks so sad, and I was like, "Aw." But yeah, so I'm picking Shorty knocking the guy's block off.
Yeah. And that would if I wasn't cheating, that totally, I'm with you. That would be my favorite. Yep.
Now here's a great question, Andrew.
Yeah.
Did you find Killer Clowns from Outer Space scary?
I had to cover my eyes through most of this movie.
No, you did not.
No, I did not. It was, in my opinion, not even a little bit scary. Yeah, I was not scared. This was more to me a comedy than anything. So yeah, I was not scared. What about you?
Now, of course not.
Yeah.
But, I try and think back, like, when it comes to movies like this, it's not just whether the movie was scary to me or would it be scary to other people. And it's weird. Like, I've actually seen a couple comments of people that are like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this clown scared me when I was a kid.
Oh, totally.
And
okay.
man, like, I would love to have been a kid and actually been scared by these clowns.
That would have been awesome.
But, because yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, there's that phobia, I think it's pronounced calrophobia, which is the fear of clowns.
Yeah.
So I would say anyone that has that sure could be scared of this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great question, and something I would love to ask people.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's clowns that are truly scary. Like, Pennywise can be horrifying.
Right.
Either version.
Right.
Who else?
What's his name? I mean, the guy from the Rob Zombie movies is not a good
Captain
guy.
Spaulding, of
there
course.
There you go. Thank you, Captain Spaulding.
And then there's the different assorted types of clowns in Rob Zombie's 31, which are very weird. Like, they're barely clowns, but they are.
Right.
Yeah, clowns can be terrifying. And so, yeah, I'm interested in people that could find this movie scary, because it's the kind of movie that I watch and I'm thinking, what was their goal in this movie? Did they actually think that they might scare somebody?
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I know they're just having fun,
Right.
which is obvious, and I love the fun of it, but yeah, there's movies like that where I think that. But then again, you watch Friday the 13th, the original,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not scary at all.
Right.
It's so dated.
Totally.
I still appreciate and respect that movie, but it's not scary. But when it first came out, yeah, it scared the heck out of people.
Totally. That's a good point.
So, yeah, it's weird. I love the subject of what kind of movies scare people. You know this.
Yes.
I
Oh,
love talking to people about movies that scare them. But anyway, let's jump to our last question.
Yes.
And I know the answer for you.
Yes.
Did you have fun with horror?
I did. I did have fun with horror with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yes. My question though is, did you?
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, this movie is fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a little bored the first time
Mhm.
I saw it. The second time, I kind of knew more what to expect, like specifically, and it's a fun movie. It's ridiculous. It's silly.
Mhm.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
There's things that make no sense.
Right.
But yeah, it's very easy to just sit back and have fun with it.
Totally.
And I would definitely. This is the kind of movie I like watching with people.
Yes. Agreed. Yep.
So if you and I ever, got together again, I doubt this would be the movie we'd watch. But if it was, we'd have fun.
Yes, we would.
So yes, despite some of my earlier misgivings, I did have fun with horror.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Okay. Well, that was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I love it when you expect me to start talking first. And
No.
then, like,
I know.
and then you're like, wait, Scotty's not going to start talking. I better go.
Well, I totally forgot. Yeah, it makes sense. It's my turn to talk on this part. I'm leaving all this in, my man.
I hope so.
I am. I love when we have our little oops moments. I think that's fun.
I like it when you oops too, Andrew.
Thanks, Scotty.
You're my favorite oopser.
And you're my favorite oopser.
Aw.
Look at us.
Look at us. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so I picked Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which was a lot of fun. But this week is now your movie, and as I just mentioned a moment ago, I love this moment because I don't know what you're picking, and it is so much fun. It's something I think about all week of what our next movie is. So I really do. I'm like, what is he gonna pick?
Well, now I'm wondering what your next movie is.
Well, now I'm wondering what your next movie is after my next movie.
What are you going to pick in February, Andrew?
I'm not gonna tell you.
All right.
That's a surprise. Okay,
Are you ready?
Yes, without further ado, yeah, tell me. I want to know what we're watching next.
All right, so this one, okay, yeah. This one, first of all, I just looked up the year of this one, and
okay.
this is the oldest movie we've done.
Whoa. Okay.
We're going far back, or further than we've gone before.
Ooh.
And I might be beating you to the punch a little bit.
Okay.
Our next movie, our next movie is from 1974,
Okay.
and it is the appropriately themed Black Christmas.
Oh, right on. That's been on my list, man.
It was, I've never seen this, and I've also never seen Silent Night, Deadly Night. And I'll be honest, I asked our friend of the show, Edward,
Right.
which movie I should pick. And I just said, hey, Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you can't go wrong with either one.
Nice. Okay.
But then I made him stick with it. I said, okay, but pick if you had to pick one.
Right.
And he said Black Christmas. So
Okay.
both movies, I believe, have remakes. I don't know. I don't
think
know.
you're right.
Does Silent Night, Deadly Night have a remake? I don't know. But
Maybe.
anyway, it's funny. I come around to December every year, And my December horror movie is Krampus, and it's been Krampus. I think I've watched it every year since it was released in theaters.
Beautiful.
But I've always in the back of my head said, this year I really need to watch Black Christmas, or I really need to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, because I've
Nice.
never seen either. And I feel like that's a big omission in my horror movie cred. So it's yet another beautiful thing about this thing we do.
Yeah.
Not just the podcast, but the game we play. We are watching a movie every week, so now I have the chance to make these movies that I've always wanted to watch our movie of the week.
Yeah.
So that's it, Black Christmas.
Oh,
And
awesome.
for everybody out there that's wondering where they can watch it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, and it looks like it's on Peacock. If you have Peacock, some
Oh.
people might still have Peacock because of Halloween Kills. Looks like it's also on Vudu free. You can watch it on Tubi, Crackle, Redbox. There's a bunch of them.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to find. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Shudder. It's only showing me a number of streaming services.
Okay.
And obviously it's purchasable or rentable
Sure.
on Apple or Amazon Prime Video. So yeah, Black Christmas. I'm looking forward to getting into the spirit of the season.
That's like, oh, what a good one. That's like, I haven't seen it, but I mean, what a good one to do for December. Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be fun.
I'm excited, man. Yeah, our oldest one for sure. 1974.
Yeah, 1974. So yeah, and when we talk about these kinds of movies, it's kind of like talking about Killer Klowns. It's not just the movie itself, but how well that movie has aged.
Right. Yep. That'll
So
be interesting.
it's going to be interesting to watch. Yeah,
Yay. Well, cool pick, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
me too. Me too.
Well,
So all right,
should we
that's
plug
it. Yeah.
just a reminder to everybody?
No, we should just end the podcast right now.
Okay. Well, bye.
Bye-bye. No.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, we've already plugged our Twitter.
You're right.
The only thing we have left to plug is Instagram. We're on Instagram,
Yes.
and
There you go.
there you go.
There you go. So follow
Just
us
look
on
up
Instagram.
Fun with Horror. And also, it's been 18 episodes,
Man.
and once again, I just want to thank everybody for listening,
Yes.
because it's you and I, we've talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you start worrying about the numbers and the number of people that are listening
Mm-hmm.
is when you need to stop. You're not having fun anymore.
Right.
And for you and I, looking at the numbers is just like this fun thing that we do.
Right. Yeah.
Above all else, we're having fun. And if we only have like one or two people listening to this every week, doesn't even matter because we're having fun, right?
Oh, totally. Yep. Absolutely. This is
Yeah.
like-
So
like we said, that's the highlight of the week. It's great.
it is, and I love watching these movies, and I love waiting to hear what you think of them.
Vice
And
versa.
to
man.
share what I think, with you, and to see where our opinions differ and where they match. It's just so much fun,
Agreed.
and we're getting to see all these movies that have been on our backlog for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. For real. It's awesome.
Watch Black Christmas. Stay tuned to our Twitter. I'm going to ask what everybody thought of Black Christmas. So if you'd like to be mentioned in the podcast, follow our Twitter and answer. Leave a little one-tweet review when I ask, and there you go.
Please. Yeah. That was awesome. I loved that part today. Was super fun. So I'm excited to see what people say about all of them. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, even if you don't like it. So,
Yeah.
And that's what I actually really appreciated about the Killer Klowns. Not everybody gave a positive review,
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
And with that,
With that, thank you again, my friend, for another fun week.
You're welcome again, my friend, for another fun week with horror.
With horror. Aw.
Also, one other thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just thank you for forever ruining the sentence "You're so pretty."
You're
Call
so
back to our
pretty.
very first episode, which still has the most listens of all our episodes. Crazy
Yeah, it
enough.
does.
But yeah, I was browsing Instagram, and somebody told somebody else in the comments, "You're so pretty," and all I can hear is your voice.
You're so pretty.
And I have to comment after every single time I see that kind of a comment and say, "Why don't you like me?" So
For everyone that doesn't know, go watch or go listen to episode 1, Tourist Trap. I
Yeah.
think you'll appreciate that.
and watch the movie if you haven't.
Yes.
Tourist Trap.
Please do.
I think everybody. I think people just automatically, when they're introduced to a new podcast, the first thing they do is go to episode 1,
Yep, I think so.
which I love. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, listen to the later ones when we've
Yeah.
found our footing a little bit.
Yeah, we were babies to this. It's gotten a lot smoother since then.
But like I've told you, it's surprising how like not how good we were, but it's surprising that we didn't do a bad job in our first episode.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I go back and I listen to it, and it doesn't sound as awkward as I thought it would.
Nice.
Is what I'm basically trying to say. So yeah. Anyway,
Ah,
let's just end this.
all right.
The
I love you,
episode, not the
buddy.
podcast.
No, I got you.
Buddy, I love you too.
I love you. This is always a fun, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
All right. Have a good week, buddy.
You too, pal. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Another door. Come on, Mike.